everybody. I'm Linda Anderson of Anderson Elder Law, the host of the video series for Entrepreneurial Spirit for Veterans. And I want to welcome Alex today as our guest. He is Alex Archawski, who is the founder for the Greater Philadelphia, I'm not going to say this properly, so please correct me for your organization name.
Greater Philadelphia Veterans Network.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about the network and how it got started.
Sure. So I transitioned twice out of the service. First time active duty, second time reserve. So active duty, I was stationed overseas, came back. So I was there for about over 3 years, just like a normal deployment. But it was a little bit, overwhelming when you're not living in the United States when you come back, to try to kind of regroup and find your way. So my background was a little bit unique, where I was enlisted with a degree. So what I mean by that was I finished college in the military. I ran out of money while I was in college, and finished, really, believe it or not, one semester. So when I got out, I enlisted with a degree. So it was a little bit different, because people are usually looking for an officer, and they're not sure about enlisted and where they fit. They usually are hourly jobs. So I realized there was a disconnect right there and then about how to position myself. And they created the network through that process of kind of learning through that and the challenges through that. And then I stayed in the military as a reservist, which means it's part-time on the weekend. I drove boats on the weekend down in Annapolis. And I loved doing that, and got a job with a Fortune 500 company in sales. And then after 9/11, 2 months afterwards, my unit for the reserves was called back to active duty. So called back to active duty means there was a lot of talk about us going over there because of our specialty with small boats into the Middle East. And so my employer let me go a month before deployment. It's legal, but it was very unethical. They were going through challenging times as well. And I think they're just saying, hey, let's help each other. And, we want to wish you luck. They offered a compensation package. So I had to put all my stuff in storage and proposed to my wife and left for deployment.
Wow.
And I came back with no job. And all I could think about was what is all my stuff in my storage, and I had to look for a job again. So it was overwhelming. And then, so the reasons why creating it was going through the transition twice.
Right.
But I realized at the end, it wasn't about helping veterans. It was really more about where are the veterans. It was about interconnecting the veterans together from a learning to connect model. Veterans in different industries, veterans in healthcare, technology, finance. So creating the largest network of veterans of where they are, so when veterans arrive back, we can connect them to where their career path is. And that was phase one of how the organization got started.
So that was phase one. What was the next phase?
Well, the whole premise behind the organization was creating the largest network of veterans, but behind that was making Philadelphia one of the best destinations for vets. So when you do that, it was really about jobs. So we taught employers how to hire vets, and we had to teach the veterans how to approach their job search. So we showed them where the network was relative to Philadelphia County, Chester County, Delaware County, Gloucester, New Jersey, in Greater Philadelphia, of how to approach the job market and where everything was, and the employers of how to find the veterans on campuses through job fairs, teaching them how to really, rather than post jobs. And if we increase those abilities, then we can increase the chances that everybody gets jobs. So we have a variety of different programs behind that. We have speed interviewing for student vets. So it's real interviews, and they have 3 minutes to pitch themselves for 30 employers. So that's 30 interviews in a span of 2 hours.
So the message to employers is that when you're hiring vets, you're probably getting somebody with specific and specialized training and discipline as well as talent.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. And how does it fit for the organization based on rank and based on the abilities? So we take employers to the base so they could see different trades. So Vanguard shadowed the finance department, SEPTA shadowed the inventory department for the Army.
Interesting.
So we had to say, you don't know, if you don't know what you're hiring, you got to see it for yourself.
Right.
So our tagline has always been our tools, your mission. So we're not selling it to employers that they need to hire vets. We're helping the ones that want to be helped.
Right.
So we're referred, and the same thing with veterans. With the way that we work with veterans is an accountability program. It's like the military with a little bit of love in the family. So it's a kick in the rear, but also understanding it is the toughest thing they'll probably have to do emotionally. Who are they? What is their future? There's nobody around them. They don't have their self-worth of their identity. So they have to form a new identity, which the civilian population doesn't really understand. You always have an identity. But when your identity is all of a sudden gone, you have to realize, well, who is my new identity?
Right.
You still don't have one. People don't feel they have one until they get the job. So it's very new for people. So we have to teach them how to stay focused. You know, we do training sessions on how to job search like a Marine. Very disciplined, unemotional, structured, process-driven job search. So typically, like, you know, when you go to the gym, you're very disciplined about what you do at the gym, or you're not. And those are the typically that succeed. So job search is the same way. And then we do leadership training for veterans when they want to grow in their company. You know.
So do you have any particular program for entrepreneurs? Because this is also a series on entrepreneurship.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So eventually the life cycle of a veteran, if you can imagine, a lot of them just all of a sudden want to create their own company. So entrepreneurship is really in different channels, as I always say. There's creating your own business. There's buying a business, existing business. That's what I did. I bought a business, a sales training company. There is buying a franchise. And then there's investing in companies, and there's probably a couple of others. So entrepreneurship is really a lot different, so we help the veterans in those various areas. So ours is very much in an economic driver. So as much as there's great programs with St. Joe's and Bunker with the education, we are the back end of the economic driver. We have relationships with procurement officers that want to do business with the veteran-owned companies. And we bring veterans together to exchange business services amongst each other. So the goal is, if you're trying to drive our community for economic success, you got to show that they're driving dollars.
That's really great. That's fantastic.
And then our end state of our show, which is our Veteran Shark Tank.
So tell us a little bit about the Shark Tank.
The Veteran Shark Tank is accumulated through a process of 7-8 years ago. I think in 2011 or 12. Did our first event in 2010 on entrepreneurship, right before everything was talked about. What does that mean? There were people out there. And then 2011, 2012, a friend of mine, John New, and I huddled together. I said, John, you know, you're a successful entrepreneur. He's with Workmark now. He's created a couple different businesses. I said, you know, let's have a pitch competition. This new Shark Tank show sounds appealing. Well, you know, we'll give out $5,000. So that's what we did. We got, you know, a total of 7 contestants applied. 5 made it. And we had people sit in an audience, and we had a little food, and we'd even break even, right? But that's fine. We need to do our first one. And then it got bigger and bigger. Then we went to a sit-down dinner. And then we started getting people like J-Dog, junk removal contestants. And then we started getting Hauser and Nerf. These people were very, very big organizations. Through this process of the Shark Tank, our goal was not about who is going to be the most successful company, but really who has the best pitch. And the way that we did that was, it's like blue collar, white collar. If you think about the Shark Tank show, they just want people that are going to scale. That's it. Well, what happens, we had a female African-American single mother. She pitched her eczema cream for her child. And the story was her child had allergic reactions for the eczema cream, went to the emergency room, so she created the eczema cream and has been doing great. The story is phenomenal. So we put her on stage, and that was important because she had a good, solid business plan. There's a lot of vetting. We have a lot of volunteers in committee. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to get this. It's a show. So we vet the candidates very well. And to put her, the opportunity to put her on stage is the beginning of her new norm, as we call it. So we give people a platform Well, we know there's others.
So what's the prize now?
The prize now is $50,000.
Wow, so it went from $5,000 up to $50,000.
We did.
Wow,
And
fantastic.
so in the last couple of years, we're very humble. We have people coming from all over the country. We have sponsors from all over the country. So we're the beginning of Army Navy Week, which makes it very exciting.
Wow.
We're the economic event.
Wow.
So the economic event means, let's drive the business. But the goal, believe it or not, is not just the veterans. We have an audience of Comcast, PwC, Greencastle, TD Bank. We have all these organizations that are there, Exelon, and many, many other organizations that are there that are supporting us, but they want to do more with veterans. So it's a commercial. Believe it or not, it's a commercial. We bring in all the business leaders, chamber representatives, economic development representatives to see the success of our veterans. So it's really a commercial pitch for us.
And it's interesting, you said it's not necessarily the product that's being promoted, it's actually the pitch that you're actually focusing on.
It is, it's got to have a solid business plan behind it.
And so the modeling that's going into the opportunity to show the modeling for the other vets that are watching.
Correct, inspiring
the others so that you can see this is actually can apply to almost any other product or any other service, just to see the great presentation.
Being motivated to inspire the audience members is a great one. A network for life, we always call it. So their personal brand, we can help them now achieve success. So to use that platform as the ability to the next phase of who they are. A lot of people that create products and services are typically not salespeople. And some have it, some don't. So we have to make sure we understand who's the right fit for that. Every year it's a science of figuring out who the right person is.
Well, Alex, I want to thank you for coming in today. Thank you for your service. This has been just a great information-packed few minutes, and I know that we could go on for so much longer. I wish we could, but thank you so much. If people want more information, how would they get more information on the Greater Philadelphia Founders Network?
Sure. So the best way to do it is to go to on our website is gpvn.org. Usually social media today is the best way to learn all about our programs for veterans and employers. And then our Shark Tank info is on there as well.
Okay, that's great. Well, I'm Linda Anderson of Anderson Elder Law. If you'd like more information on our entrepreneurial series for veterans, please visit our website, andersonelderlaw.com. Thank you.